Okay, that was the final boss of the game. She is a lot harder than I made her look. I really like Reiji's character arc over the course of the game because he starts off so unfriendly, and then just it, out of all the characters, I think he's my favorite in the SEBEC route. Like, he's my favorite choice for the last character slot for that reason, because he has that whole character arc, and he has all those lines and dialogues and stuff between him and Mark. So I wonder if Ideal Maki, I wonder if she's a persona or a shadow. Like, she calls herself a shadow there, but like I don't think they really kind of had that bit of lore kind of codified yet. But I guess technically they'd be shadows.
I'll send all of you back to the real world. One second. Thank you. I hope you'll still think about me at least once in a while. Goodbye. I love you. Goodbye.
Nothing more need be said. I'm sure you have all discovered by now your true selves. The smiles you wear are no longer false masks. You may find yourselves troubled or suffering or lost in the future, but there is nothing to fear. Look to your soul for your true self. No matter what trials you may face, that will be enough for you to weather the storm. Now go forth into your bright futures.
Interestingly enough, Philemon actually has a bit of a younger look to him in the Persona 2 duology. But we have finished the game. We're basically in the credit sequence so far. We're just going to do some like after battle reports, I guess, and then see what kind of happened to our protagonists. They have graduated. So they're going to a. They mentioned before, like after all this, they wanted to go to a amusement park. So that's what they're meeting today to do. The last thing in Pandora's box, if you don't know, if you were born under a rock and have never heard the myth of Pandora, Pandora was given a box, told not to guard it, not to open it, that it had all the world's evils in it. I don't know if I don't know if she was told what was in it. But anyway, she was told not to open this box. And she opened it out of curiosity. And she let out all the bad things in the world. Jealousy, hate. But at the bottom of the box, there was one thing left over. And that was hope. So. Obviously, all of you have heard that because that's like basically common knowledge. So, with Maki's illness completely cured, she matured into a cheerful and positive woman. She won an award at a major art exhibit and has received lucrative commission offers, but her priorities still lie with spending time with her mother. She was recently seen enjoying dinner with her mother and a man who seemed to be her boyfriend. Masao Inaba. He won over his strongly opposed parents and went to New York on his own. His street art style has received critical acclaim, and news of his notoriety even reached Japan. His mother still pesters him with phone calls every week. I think Mark is the only one of the characters that doesn't appear in Persona 2 at some point. Kei Nanjo. As part of his executive training, he took a job incognito as a salesman at a Nanjo Group subsidiary. After seeing how the rest of the world lived, he slowly became mellower. Some have spotted him sleeping on the train wearing a tie embroidered with the phrase, "Number 1. Reiji Kido. With his vendetta settled, he was finally free to live his own life. He married a kind woman reminiscent of his mother shortly after graduation, and now has a child of his own. Mark joked that the child inherited Reiji's sharp tongue and standoffish personality. As for his fate, that's for you to decide. So that was Persona 1 on the PSP. This was the SEBEC route. This is the same story that you could have gotten in the PS1 version if you've ever played that. Next, we're going to be doing the Snow Queen quest, which is the cut content from the PS1 version. Basically, at one point, if we had tried to go back to the school, it was kind of cut off into this swirling bank of fog. That's to signify, oh yeah, they're Snow Queen quests. You can't go back there. They're in the middle of all that. So, this game, I mean, it's not terrible, but I can kind of understand why when people say, oh, I really enjoyed Persona 3, 4, 5, should I go back and play the first game? I can understand why people say no. So, I mean, this game is really rough around the edges. It's not incredibly challenging, except for the points where it is, and at which point, like, the difficulty spike kind of jumps a lot, specifically the final boss. If you go in there unprepared for Butterfly Storm, she will eat your lunch, unless you're like massively over leveled. You know, there's no incentives for going out of your way and getting new personas. In addition to that, of course, there's no real indication other than trial and error. You know, like how to get spell cards and things. The levels, I think the experience curve in this game is very janky, whereas if you are actively trying to use a lot of different personas, you have to grind to get more and better spell cards, because the demons, after you get through with like the black market for the first time, that's at the point where the demons just start to just jump in levels. Like, they'll jump 10 levels, like, every dungeon. And there's absolutely no way you can keep up with that kind of level curve without grinding. And I probably would have experienced that same thing a little earlier if I hadn't have done what I had done at the beginning of the game, where I had the main character eat all the experience up and not share it. So, like I said, I think the game is fun. It's fine. It's very rough around the edges. It's not, thankfully though, it's not very long. It's not like this 90-hour epic where they make you slog through everything. It's a relatively short game, about 20 hours long. I don't even know if I spent that much time. Cogito ergo sum. I think, therefore I am. So they are now going to ask us to save our game, because there is a little bit of bonus content. I'm not really sure if I'm going to do it because it's pointless. Like, the reward for doing this is the rewards for going to the depths of the Mikage ruins are really just kind of, you go down there and you can fight some souped up regular enemies to get lots of experience. They give you gems, they give you tablets and stuff, but that's not really, it's not really worth it. So, like I said, I'm kind of on the fence about whether or not I'm going to do that. Don't expect me to do it. But if you want to do it, you would load your last save data, and then you could go back there. You can't see it, but I have I already had clear data, so it might have actually let me go deeper in there already. But anyway, next time on Persona, we are going to go way back in time to this save file right here, and we are going to go through the Snow Queen quest. I will see you then. Bye.